Hi there, Ifyat Alice here, and here we are in Parshas Emor. And in this week's Parsha, it talks a lot about the Kohanim. It talks about what they can do in the temple, who can serve, and ends off talking about the Jewish holidays. Now, the interesting thing is it may not seem like the most interesting Parsha because there's no huge story, no drama, but at the end of the day, there are so many lessons that we can learn from this week's Parsha, as always. And one of the lessons that I want to pick up on is actually talking about blemishes. Blemishes, not something that people usually want to talk about, but it's mentioned in this week's Parsha that Kohanim with certain blemishes can't work in the temple, which makes us think, well, that's not fair. Why can't he do that? And their main lesson behind it is that every single person in this world has a particular role, a job, something that they're supposed to accomplish that nobody else can. And those Kohanim that have those blemishes are not meant to work in the temple, so they just don't. But it actually brings us to something much deeper, which is our faults and thinking about the things that we don't really like so much about ourselves. And that reminds me of Moshe. Moshe Rabbeinu, Moshe our teacher, one of the most amazing people on earth. And one of the things I love about him the most is how he started off being Moshe. Moshe, we know, had a lisp and he couldn't speak well. That was one of the things that he felt was his worst quality. He even told God, when God spoke to him and said, I want you to take the Jewish people out of Egypt, he said, no, I can't even speak well. I have a lisp, I stutter, there's certain letters that I can't even say. Why would you choose me to do such a job? And God said, I know what I'm doing. I want it to be you. Because you can't speak well, when you transmit the Torah, they'll know when it's me that's speaking through your lips and not just you speaking. And the thing that I love about that so much is that what made Moshe so great was his weakness. His biggest weakness was what made Moshe so great. Can you imagine? When we look at ourselves, we're so harsh, we're so mean, we think there's so many things that are wrong with us and so many things that we wish would be different. But what if next time you looked in the mirror and you saw your faults and you saw your weaknesses and you thought to yourself, what if I too am like Moshe? What if my blemish that maybe doesn't allow me to do this particular thing, or I feel stops me in a certain way, is actually what makes me so great, is actually what I need to actually fulfill my role in this world? What if your greatest blemish, your biggest weakness, was actually your biggest strength? Shabbat Shalom.